Hello and welcome. We're back, Monday Club, and it's actually Monday this week. As usual, and as usual from now on, Verso is our sponsor. Beautiful Fuseboards. Every time I don't rehearse this, beautiful Fuseboards. Absolutely fantastic. Best box in the game. I actually thought it was a pair of trainers when it first arrived. And they do accessories. Some of the really, really top quality accessories. They come pre-round. They are tested to the highest degree. They're tested better than MK apparently. So yeah, check them out. Give them a go. You won't be disappointed. Anyway, moving on swiftly.
You forgot something, didn't you?
What?
The screws are backed out.
I said that. They're pre-round.
Which for me is a reason to try anything, to be honest.
Exactly. Verso, links in the show notes. Right, so today's episode is why I hate Professional Electrician magazine.
We're going to get sued.
I want to be. I want a cease and desist letter. So I called in the big guns, the big Jaldinho from TikTok fame.
All right, boys and girls.
And you're doing all right on Instagram lately, aren't you?
Yeah, all right. I don't really give it too much attention, which I probably should.
Can I ask there then? Because I am on Instagram and I like Instagram, but I'm not on TikTok. So do I see everything you put on TikTok on Instagram, or do you have to tell it to do that?
Not everything. I like I said, I don't really give Instagram enough attention. I feel like I should, but no. I've got loads of content on TikTok, and not all of it makes it to Instagram.
Fair enough. That's something you choose to what you push.
Yeah, I pick and choose. Yeah, pick and choose. Yeah.
See, I love TikTok. I had it going just how I wanted it. Like, I don't know, at least 30% of it was girls with big bums, and then at least 30% of it was other stuff I'm interested in, and then just other little bits and pieces, and then random things were thrown up, and it was great, and I could be on there for hours and hours and hours. Then I realised what an absolute, I don't know, I felt like I was doing drugs again. It's like, I just said, one more, and just non-stop, just one more. And it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, you're like, I've got work in a minute, just one more. I deleted it.
What I don't fully understand is, and I'm sure other people feel like, so I don't mind discussing it for a minute because I don't think it'll bore the viewer, is I'm Facebook generation. I do a bit of Twitter. Instagram used to be a photo up, then it just had photos, then they got into stories. And it seems that the stories bit, they're really pushing the stories to be like TikTok, and it seems to have spoiled the photos bit of it because I just get fed a lot of crap on there that I don't want to see. Now,
for me, it's like everything, they all copy each other. Right?
Yeah.
If new comes out, they'll take that and they'll run with it. And it's just all a vicious cycle. They all just copy each other.
Twitter done it for a while. Twitter had stories, didn't they? What was they called? Chirps or something?
Do you know what that was? They used to own a social media platform that did 7-second videos. I can't remember what it's called. I used to quite like it.
Vine.
And it was like, you got 7 seconds to make something funny. And believe me, there was some good stuff on there.
Yeah.
But then they cast it off because they didn't think it'd ever work. And now TikTok come along, and that is the big one in it at the minute. So they missed out there.
So let's get back to the point quickly. I know that you two are those type of sparks that like buy regs books and, you know,
well, yeah,
read industry publications,
buying
and wear PPE and stuff like that.
Yeah, and like, oh, I'm going to do this by the book. That's you two. I know that's you two. So when I say
my bag of regs books here, just to prove that I've got the latest ones, there you go, looking at boys.
See, I mean, why? And like next, they'll be bringing out the EAWR 19.
That's whatever in the bag. It's in the Electricity Work Regulations 1974 is in the bag.
And I know Aldino is on the same page as you with this sort of stuff. So I thought you two would be perfect.
Compared to Jamie, I don't think. Fucking hell.
Cheers, mate. I don't know that far, though. It's just, I know 3 regs, I just re-quote them all the time.
But I know that you two will be the type of people that go into the wholesalers, like when you get to go in the wholesaler and be like, oh, professional electrician, let's read this.
And you know what? I'll pick it up every single time I go in there and I read it cover to cover.
I love it.
Jamie, you're the first person I've ever met or spoken to that reads Professional Electrician cover to cover.
I didn't say I liked it, but I read it because,
Why?
Well, because you keep your enemies close, don't you?
So
I'm not saying they're enemy. What I'm saying is, if I don't, I might want to agree or disagree. But if I don't read the source material, I've got nothing to go on.
So many years ago, when I was a salesman, I joined this big company called Bell Micro, and there was a sales floor with like maybe 400 people on it, and it was crazy. On a Friday, they'd hand out stress balls, and they'd be going around the sales floor, people getting black eyes, everything. They'd be drinking beer, doing gear in the toilet, the whole lot. It was crazy.
Wall Street? Was they throwing midgets at dartboards and stuff?
No,
as well?
Listen, it wasn't on that level. It was crazy. It was crazy.
It all makes sense that you used to be a salesman.
It does, doesn't it? It's
100%, yeah.
It's all clicked.
It's never really gone for me either. But, so anyway, one of the things is, I used to have this guy, and his name was Dickie, and he was my sales manager. Right?
Dickie, what was the firm called?
Bell Micro. Bell Micro Dickie. Anyway, it's gone now, but he used to be like a drill sergeant. Like, he'd go on, and he made me subscribe to all the industry magazines. He goes, because if you know what's going on in the industry, you'll be able to get ahead of your competition. Do you know what I mean? And be able to sell what the next hot thing and all that sort of stuff. So I used to sit there and read the magazines. When I transferred to becoming an electrician, I was like, well, I'm out of that sort of nonsense environment. I'm going to go and do a proper trade. The first thing I did was go and get professional electrician, and like, so as I could see what's going on in the industry. I read maybe 4 pages before it ended up on the floor, and I never read it again because it's that boring.
That's why you hate the magazine, just because you read it once, you read 4 pages and got bored of it.
That's not why.
The thing is, though, you've got the part of being a good electrician is looking at all these things and separate the wheat from the chaff. Like, I tell you what I liked. I found out about. I know I can roughly tell you stuff that I use when I found out about it. So you know that, is it quick wire where you push the twin earth in? The job I was on at the time, I was like, that's good. That'd do this job that we're on.
Try testing with that.
Right, but I've not used it. But what I'm saying is, on the job, I was like, that would be bang on for this job. That would make it quicker and easier. And I found out about that from professional electrician. But I've also seen some stuff in there. I was like, this is pure shit. But if you've got to wade through, it. Otherwise, you don't ever gain anything.
Right. So this is why I don't like professional electrician. Many moons ago, when we started the old podcast, the Electrician's Guide to Everything, with me and Rick. We had these high hopes that we'd be massive by now. We'd be like Joe Rogan levels by now. Anyway, and we got interviewed by a professional electrician, and at the time we was sort of friendly with E5 Group and all them knobheads, and
what we're gonna get so soon.
No, and we was all friends with them, and then they started talking shit, and then they brought out their own podcast, and I was like, right, now I definitely hate you, because I'm like, I'm all or nothing. Anyway, so then it all went downhill from there, and professional electrician went with them.
The bastards.
So ever since, and I didn't like the way I didn't like the way some of the things were happening behind the scenes and the way they was moving in that.
The thing is, it's just an advertising company, isn't it? It's not. They're not Sparkies. It's just
they don't care.
Selling column inches, but that benefits me in some ways and not in others.
I'm not saying what they do. Like, listen, I'm not saying what they do is bad. They do a magazine. You pick it up and read it. You get a load of adverts in it. Like, why anyone would advertise?
I'll just go straight to the caught on camera, and that's
yeah.
But again, that's it. And then but I just don't like them because they buoyed us off.
What do you get for caught on camera? Do you get something if you submit a picture?
No, I've submitted one before and got in there.
Did you get Did they send you a cup?
They're tight, man. They're tight.
See, the good old days with magazines like that, you get some out of it, wouldn't you? They'd send you a mug or a lanyard or some stickers, or you get one for your van saying, I've been caught on camera, but them days are long gone.
No,
you ain't get nothing off them. Listen, they're the same people that run the Elect show.
Which we touched on last week, didn't we?
Yeah. Have you ever been?
Oh, I've never been, no. Never been.
This is the other thing, right? And this is my own fault. I thought I was big time, yeah? I thought it was big time. Right? We had about 200 listeners, and I said to them, we're going to Alex, but we want all access passes. And they was like, no. I was like, what?
Is there not a quality video with James Beck where he wins the award for Alex and he goes and they had to pay for everything? It's quite an amusing video.
Probably.
I'll dig it out and put it in the show notes. Even
And
though
I was
every
like,
time I said them do.
I want early entry. I want to be like, I want the VIP tickets. I
want 8-way waggos.
All access. And they was like, no. I was like, do you know who I am? And I was pissed off of it. So I don't like them.
What would all access get you at Lex?
I don't know. You get in there early, so you get to see all the stuff before the peasants.
You get access to a disabled toilet, even though you're not disabled. That's it.
Well, some say I might be.
So, Big Aldino, though, Aaron, on yours, on the TikTok, doing quite well on that. What do you gain out of that? Out of interest, what do you get? Is there any perks? Do you just do it for a good crack, or?
Really, I'm just there for the banter, mate. That's all it is for me.
You love winding up people about
what I continue to do is just it's just entertainment. That's all it is.
You don't do any advertising right then? You will do a bit.
Done a Wago one.
Why wouldn't you?
I'm not just going to do it with any old crap that
We all say that until they start throwing good money at you.
Well,
I've got to say, and I'll stand by this. And if I ever do it, come back. I won't front up any crap. If I'm honest, I'd advertise for Wago.
Do you know what?
I like the product.
Exactly. That's exactly why I've done it. And I wouldn't advertise anything I didn't believe in. No chance.
It's funny. It's funny because sometimes I've made all the mistakes that you can make in this game. Like, I'm not an influencer. I'm not even nothing. But I have had the opportunity to be sponsored by a load of really good companies and some not so good. And I have taken sponsorship by companies that I probably, if I think back now, I think, why did I bother? Do you know what I mean? But it's just like, at one point it went crazy for influencer sponsoring. Like, it went crazy. It was, if you was front and center, people were throwing money at you. I don't think it's like that now. I think the purse strings got tightened quite a bit.
I think the bubbles burst on Spark of social media a bit, isn't it? There's too many people trying to spunk out the same old shit, if I'm honest.
Exactly.
What kind of a saying is that? What kind of a saying is that?
What, spunk out the same old shit?
That's not a thing. No one's ever said that.
It's a northern thing. You're too poor and southern to understand, I'm afraid. I'll tell you what, though,
listen, remember Aldino's from the same neck of the woods as me?
Yeah, I'll tell you fucking boat. I actually know where he lives because we're going to go and play darts but next time I'm down that area.
Yeah, that's it.
I'll tell you what, though, and I always, what's the bags called? The posh bags. I've got 3 of them downstairs. Can't remember the fucking name. Velocity, right? I always thought Velocity were the bags of pure Ponzi pricks, and I would not be seen dead with anything but a tote tray or a dewalt tough system, yeah? And I swore down that they were the tools of penises. And then one day, they're just too Ponzi. They're just Ponzers bags for Ponzers, right? And I thought like that. And then one day, it weren't even advertisement. I saw Nick Bundy using them. And I saw him do something. I thought, that's actually quite a decent bag. That I ought to have a look on their website. So he weren't selling it. I don't think he was being paid to advertise at the time, but he was just using it, which is a very powerful advertising medium. No sell.
That's exactly how I ended up buying most of the tools, the tool bags.
Yeah, so that's 2 of us.
Use it and you think, oh, that looks good. But people will take the piss. But the old Nipex Ergo strip.
So crap.
It's a brilliant little
crap.
tool.
Brilliant.
On social media. If it comes in handy.
Are you like me? Do you not like being sold things? But if you see someone use them,
exactly. Yeah.
And if it's to be fit,
I'll skip past it. I don't want to see that. But if I see someone using it who I watch and I respect, and I think, oh, that will come in handy, and I'll definitely give it a try.
Yeah.
Do you honestly think
social media it is advertising without advertising?
Do you honestly think those Nipex Ergos are good?
Yes.
Yeah. Class.
You know what? It depends what cable you're using. They're not great for everything.
You know what they're good for? I'll tell you the best thing they're good for.
FP200.
No, the cores of an armoured. So, like when you've got all the armoured out and then you just wipe it and then you could just score it down with that and not that's where they excel.
Tiny armoured, spot on.
I strip a lot of FP200. I work with the guy that does fire safety systems and I do a bit of audio for that. And without one of them, I'd just cry. If I lost it on that day I was stripping one, I'd be like, oh, for fuck's sake, because you can get it right in. And again, something I've seen people using.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I've been trying to use it with twin and earth and it's
You
shit.
use it, use it on certain
Twin
cables.
Earth,
You're
you
not going
twat.
to get the benefit. You're not going to get the benefit. But if you do a lot of armoured and FP200, it comes in handy.
And you don't cut the cores. You score one core, you fucked a cable.
Exactly.
Especially with FP, you're not stuff like soft as shit in it. But
Yeah,
again,
it is.
it's too soft. Why is it fireproof? It's so soft. But yeah, it's just something I saw someone use on Instagram or YouTube. Like, oh, that's interesting. What's that? Naturally drawn in, because I'm inquisitive. That is the most powerful form of advertising. Although I can be sold stuff, but I do often see these back and I think, oh, what's he got there? What's he doing there? What's she doing
I don't
there?
watch any. Listen, Nick's one of my very good friends. I still don't watch his stuff. I don't watch any of them. I used to like watching Thomas Nagy. I
still watch Nagy religiously. I think I like his content.
I know
but
he's back now. I do like his content. I've always liked his content. I've always wanted to get him on, but he aligned himself with E5.
He gets an hard time, and to be fair, I've given him an hard time about some stuff, but he puts the content out and it's honest and it's a real life Sparky's Day thing, so you're going to get that.
Listen, you watch his journey, right? And over the time, he's gone like that, and he's gone like that, and he's just like he's done some really good stuff. He does make up a lot of shit if you don't know. Like, does make up shit. Like, he's like, this is what you do in this situation. You're like, fucking hell, mate. It's definitely not.
I'll just quickly interject there because you said he goes like that, and I'm making for audio viewers because we've got loads of them apparently. He's doing the up and down with his finger. Yeah. What the secret is? Everyone's life is like that, but some influencers only show you the peaks.
You're not wrong.
It's not like that. So if anyone is watching Instagram going, I'm a shit smart because my day goes a bit shit. All our days go a bit shit.
Mate, I had the shittest day today. I had the absolute shittest day. I've only put on 3 back boxes today and fucked that up twice.
What have you been up to, Aaron? Oh, excited for you.
I had a decent day, actually. I had a little... I did an inspection on a heating system that keeps burning out elements. Obviously, they've just turned it on to constant and the cylinder stat was knackered. So... that was a nice, easy one.
I wouldn't know anything about that. I'd be like, fucking, how do I know about that?
That's because he buys books, dickhead.
I read Professional Electrician.
Oh, there you go.
Heating section at the back.
And then I had a fault find in the afternoon, which ended up just being a MI cable that had gone down.
Oh, now we're talking pro. I told you to get some fucking proper sparkies on here.
Chuck a bit of FP200 in to replace it.
What's yours? Are you still a lot of medium, like commercially, light industrially, or domestic as well?
Yeah, commercial. It's mainly commercial. Yeah, mainly commercial.
I had some sparks on site today. A site I look after. There's some sparks there putting in some oil pumps, and they rocked up and they got there late. They come all the way from Wales, right? And they got there a bit late, and they wanted to stop late to make the day up. Unfortunately, I had to stop and babysit. I wanted to leave. Yeah, but I thought, fucking hell, if they see this podcast and I portray myself as the Sparky Spark and I fucked them off at 4 o'clock, they'll ring in. So I had to hang around till they want to go. They might not watch the podcast, but I couldn't take the risk.
That's not a thing.
Fuck. I don't remember the comments calling me a cunt saying he fucked us off site at 4 o'clock and he ate some Sparkies.
No, I'll tell you what. This job I'm on is so dumb, right? This is what So it's coming to an end. It's a hotel. Right, some shitty hotel in Margate, right?
I'm not stopping there.
Guess who's fired tomorrow? But no, it's a shitty fucking hotel in Margate. It's meant to be a bit swanky and all that, and they've got like designers all running around fucking sugar in their tank. And I got sent this just before the podcast. All right, lads, just been told that on Friday there will be no work, as the client is coming down and don't want anyone working on it. So if you don't mind doing a few extra hours tomorrow night till 10 o'clock, I will pay you for the Friday.
What?
Work equal amount of hours tomorrow night.
Work till 10 o'clock and get paid Friday. No.
I don't mind toil actually. If you do, I'd rather stop a late night and have a 3-day weekend, but not in that manner. That's cheeky bastard.
Yeah, but like finish at 4, work till 10, so 6 hours.
I've just got a message. Sorry, it's from a boss. It says, "Can you work Monday morning from 8 for 40 hours straight, and I'll pay for the rest of the week?"
Yeah,
no dramas.
Yeah, sweet. I'm just not doing it. I'm like, oh, what? Because the client's so important, he can't bear to have peasants around him.
Yeah.
So we'll work till 10 o'clock at night to appease him, shall we? No, man, it's not the fucking Victorian times in the workhouses and shit.
Who's
Well,
made?
it works.
Who's decided that? Is that the client that's decided that, or is
Yeah.
that the contractors?
And then, like, it's got to be finished. Really and truly, most of it's got to be finished by Thursday.
It better be, because you'll be off the job by the time this comes out next Monday.
And they're all fanning about. They're all running about. And then we had a meeting today, and he's like, from now on, everything the client sees, if it's shit, is your fault. And, like, just pointed to everyone. And I was like...
Is that the second time in so many weeks I can say, oh, the management blaming the workers when it's clearly a management problem?
It's just mental. It's mental. And every time you go and get something, it's like, oh, we seem to have run out of red raw plugs. Oh, yeah, they're around somewhere. Go and find them. There's 5 floors. What are you talking about? It's mental. So, yeah, I'll do tomorrow till 4, like normal. Then I'll do Thursday till 4. And then whatever.
I'll just sit on my arse.
Friday, I'll have a day off. I don't mind that at all.
The thing, you know, if you've got a good boss or good company they work for, and they pull that on you, you'd be all right, wouldn't you? But when they try and put it last minute, like, oh, lads, got a dead good deal for you, yeah? Like, they're trying to sell it to you, like...
Oh,
like
I've got a better one. Oh, I've deleted it. Fucking hell. So I had last Friday off, so I couldn't work the weekend. I was like, if you get in trouble and you do need someone to work the weekend, just let me know. I'm only down the road. No problem. Because they've got a rule about if you have a day off, you can't work the weekend.
Excuse me.
And I'm like, whatever, man. It's fine. I'm down the road if you need it. Anyway, I get a text at 10:30 on a Friday night. Now, I don't know about you lot, but even on a Friday night, I'm in bed by 9:30. I'm just ready for bed about 9:30. I ain't trying to stay up late.
As late as that?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm asleep. So I don't go in that Saturday morning. And I just ignored it because I thought, well, that's stupid. Don't ever be texting me at 10:30 at night to come to work tomorrow. That's never going to happen. I then get a call, a text at 8:30 on the Saturday night to come in on the Sunday. Can you work tomorrow? I was like, no, not really. He goes, all right, well, I'll phone you tomorrow about coming back Tuesday then.
I keep adhering to. I work for a firm now, and I've had to go through since the start of COVID. I thought I'll go and get a job. It's fucking safer. And I've been in work, back on my own, in work, back on my own, in work, back on my own, and now I sort of work for a firm and do my own stuff. And out of the 3 previous jobs I've had, the company I work for now, if you're watching, hi company I work for now, they're the only firm that I've worked for that aren't an absolute bunch of cunts. Sorry. I didn't mean to do that. You let that.
But no,
sorry.
it's
I want to say it though. It's like if you get a good firm to work for, it's brilliant. And I've always thought I've treated my lads well, but when people start trying to mug you off like your experience in there, what do they expect? What kind of people do they expect to employ?
The thing is, though, the geezer who's sending me them messages, he's all right. He's all right.
Is he being prodded from above?
I think he's under a lot of pressure to get this job over the line, and I think,
it's always the way, isn't it? 9 times out of 10, that's the way.
What's most of your client base now? Do you have to deal with these people, or are you like direct to clients, or
are you myself in the eye?
Are you having to put up with people like this? God, hello.
Aldinio.
Is it gone?
Me, you talking to me?
Yeah. So, I don't know how you work. Are you mostly direct to clients, or?
Yes, yeah. So it's a bit of both. I'm sort of like management, so sort of 50-50 office based and site based.
Are you cards in? Are you? Or are you a subber?
Yeah, cards in. Yeah.
Ah, sorry, man. I thought it was a subber.
No,
Cardy wankers.
That's why he's got all these books. You see, because he gets them all given to him for fuck all.
I've got to be honest with you. I've been on the cards not so long ago, and I absolutely hated it. I felt like it wasn't for me. I like what I do. I do like it. Some days are harder than others. Like today was awful because it's bitty work. I'm so tired because my child is ill, and I just couldn't find anything to do the jobs. And then when I did finally do it, I fucked it up. And so you have the down days where it's really difficult being self-employed because you get stupid messages like that. There's no one going to message someone like that who's PAYE
I'm
because
just
there's
wondering,
no recourse.
you know the one you've got about not coming in Friday because they don't want the client to see you.
Yeah,
I'm just wondering if they just sent that to you.
maybe. Maybe walking around burping and farting at a client, probably not for them.
You're managing that, Aaron. So how many lads you got underneath you, or how many lads on the firm? And would you?
So there is, I think, 11 sparks.
And you won't be pulling stunts like that,
and then sort of free management.
And you won't go pulling stunts like that, then, I'm assuming. Oh, you have no spark. You wouldn't have any sparks, would you?
No, you got to look after them, ain't you? Got to look after them.
Isn't there like a bit of a rule? You don't ever text someone after, say, like 6 o'clock, unless it's a real emergency.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I had to do it the other day actually because the diary all got cocked up, and I had to sort people out at 9:30 at night and make phone calls on, I think it was Sunday night, but it all got sorted in the end. But I'll never phone anyone that late. I'll always just send a message and say, look, if you're up, give me a call. I don't want to be waking people up. You know, people have got kids and families. I don't want to be messing up their.
If it's an oddity or an emergency, I don't mind. But yeah, if it became regular, like texting you like little orders, you'd be like,
yeah, no, I try to keep out of it as much as I can. I'll only speak to people when I have to.
I don't even like my mates ringing me after like
7
o'clock.
No, don't.
I don't like my mates phoning me at all.
I tell you what, I have this thing, right? Have you ever heard of that ring? I think it's off 1 foot in the grave, yeah? Don't answer the phone, it's that ring. And you know who's calling or you know what it's about. And the phone rings sometimes, I'm like, that person has no business ringing me. And I used to answer the phone and go, either your fuseboard's tripped or someone's dead. And twice, the fuseboard had tripped. And then twice, someone was dead.
No.
And I didn't learn the first time, I said it again. But we all laughed about it after. I was like, someone's dead. And like, yeah, you're right. I'm like, what's up with your fuseboard? They're like, no. I'm like, oh. Who is it? Twice now.
That's about that.
Good lads as well, but the 2 lads it was would have appreciated the jokes, so never mind.
I do want to circle back round to like product placement and stuff like that on these influencer channels. How many?
I've just almost fell over my dewalt battery that's here. What a lovely battery it is. Oh, look, it's got... No, not really.
See, Aaron don't like that. The big Aldinio don't like that. If that was a Milwaukee battery, it'd be all over it.
I don't touch Milwaukee, mate. No, stuff would do me.
What are you then?
Got the wrong person. But I use Bosch, mate. I use Bosch.
Oh,
you're not coming on again. Dirty boy.
You can say what you want, mate. Say what you want.
That's Bundy's game.
Yeah, the only people that use Bosch are you and Bundy then, and I just
Bundy only uses Bosch because he's sponsored by it. No, but he don't.
To be fair to Bosch, they're not in your face, are they, Bosch? They're sort of just there doing their Bosch thing.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I mean, back in the day in the noughties, 90s, late 90s and 90s, if you had a Bosch 24-volt core STS, you were a fucking man.
It was
yes.
With the interchangeable chuck. Do you want SDS or do you want normal rotor air? Fucking boom.
Exactly.
That was a fucking tool to have. That was like, if you had one of them, you was a fucking big player.
But yeah, you was, because they were like 700 quid.
Yeah, and that, to be fair to Bosch, they're not saying, look at us with fucking Bosch. They're just there, they're available. So yeah, they're all right.
Yeah, I think that is probably the gentleman's tool.
That is a very good, yeah.
I'll take that.
Milwaukee's like a young Herbert. Oh, look at me, I've got a red drill.
dewalt will just come around and bum your mum. and Milwaukee will rape your sister.
dewalt is our generation. dewalt's our generation, really.
Yeah, is that Bosch thing?
Yeah, because everyone had Makita at first, didn't they? And then I bought dewalt because I didn't want Makita, because everyone was nicking Makita batteries on site. So I thought, if I had dewalt, no one else will have dewalt, and I won't get my batteries nicked. It works.
And now, if you have dewalt, nobody touch it anyway because it's full of shit.
Is it though?
Yeah.
Not really.
I've got to say, I was dewalt, and obviously I've still got the dewalt tools. And I've said this on the podcast recently. All my tools are now about 3 years old. I haven't bought new ones for a while because I'm stuck in the dewalt battery system, as you can see, and I'm never moving. But I don't use my tools hardcore daily, so I don't know whether they're good. But I used to get through a drill every year, but that I thought was fair wear and tear.
Mate, this might be a reflection on me, really. I've had my DeWalt set for 6 years. I've only ever had to buy one new battery and one new combi drill.
When I was sparking, my mate came to work for me, and he's just starting out security firm, and he brought a DeWalt combi set. And he goes, "This drill is good, isn't it?" I said, "Yeah, it's good drill, that XRP job." He goes, "Last me ages." Because I get 6 months out of that, mate. Because at that time, I was drilling holes, you know what I mean? Busy. And I said, "I get 6 months out of that." He goes, "What? Don't you send it back?" I goes, "No, mate, because I fuck him." I used to have a DeWalt drill just for drilling 3.3mm pilot holes, because I used to just drill holes after holes after holes in solid uni. But they'd stand up to the punishment, and I think they're great still. But I think this Makita stuff decent, though, I've got to admit. I hear good stuff said about that.
Yeah, my brother's Makita. He's got everything. The other day,
Not Makita. That stuff's shit. I meant Milwaukee. Fucking hell! Don't make that into a ringtone, anyone. I mean Milwaukee.
Make
Fucking
it into a
Makita.
ringtone. Do you remember that?
Showing the age
Ringtones.
now.
Fucking
You still
hell.
do that?
You can't. Yeah, I think iPhone's killed it.
Yeah, you can. You can like
But
record.
yeah, a tangent there. What was I going to say about power tools? Sorry.
I can't fucking remember.
Is
I
it-
can't remember 2 minutes
Yeah,
ago.
you really, really like Makita, is what you were saying.
No, my brother's got Makita because he's a chippy, and chippies
Yeah.
love Makita, don't they?
And they always have, haven't they? They're the
Listen, he
ones-
turned up the other day to do the skirting in my little girl's room. He pulled out this rig, right? It come out of the thing. You know, like when you pull out on an ambulance when they pull out the gurney and then the legs fall down and all that.
Oh yeah.
He's got this like fucking chop saw thing. Pulled it out and the leg popped down. The next leg popped down. He rolled it out, spread it out, put all the arms popped up and everything. And I was like, "What is that?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I got it secondhand from." He bought it from a joinery shop that didn't use it. I was like, "That must have been £1,000 of anyone's money." He goes, "No, it was £1,200 secondhand."
Fuck. Is that one of them that flips? Is it like a chop saw that flips into a table saw?
Yeah, it's
I
this big.
want one of those so bad. So
What
I can
for?
chopping up wood, you dickhead.
What would?
I like a bit of woodwork. I find a bit of woodwork.
Mate, this is the all singing, all dancing. It is the bollocks. And I was just like, I've never seen anything as cool as that.
That's the perk of having your own firm when I did, is that I got to buy the tools I wanted, and I could just use them for shitty medium tasks around the house. But I've always wanted a good chop saw / table saw to make shit.
I'd love to do that. If I didn't have to work, that's what I'd do. I'd just piss about. I'd get lathe. I'd just piss about wood. I love all that shit.
Anyone who watches the YouTube, check out a guy called This Old Tony. He does a lot of metalworking, lathe and milling work, and that is what I would do. I'd have a metalworking shop, and I'd just make little bits of metal in fun shapes.
Yeah.
Just find it therapeutic to watch. And
You two like, I bet you watch stuff by like that. What's that name? Alf Garnett? No, not Alf Garnett. What's his name?
It's a racist. So don't watch that.
Who's the one who used to do the steeplejacks?
Oh, Fred! I fucking love Fred Dibner. I've been to his house and everything. I met him and all sorts. Absolutely, got all his DVDs. Can't get enough of Fred Dibner. Met him at steam engine rallies.
Yeah, it's because you're northern, though.
That's a northern thing,
Oh,
definitely.
I eat pies in cobs and all sorts. Yeah, I'm a massive Fred Dibner fan. And then
Do you know what's funny is when you get like top north, like Manchester way, everywhere sells pies. Going to the petrol garage, steak and gravy pie, chicken and gravy pie, potato and butter pie. Who even knew that was a thing?
With that pie? So we get. Do you want a cob with that pie? So
What's a cob?
A pie cob. You can make a pie cob, can't you?
What's a pie cob?
So I think it's Hull. If you're from Hull, put this in the comments. There's two things in Hull. There's a pie cob. That's a pie and a cob.
You keep saying it. Tell me what a cob is.
It's a roll. It's a bread roll.
Fucking cob, you dozy bastard. Like, oh yeah, of course. Cob's Nottingham, innit?
Yeah, we
A
don't
roll, a bat, a barn, a bread cake.
So you put a pie in the sandwich?
Well, some of them, there's one that's carbs on carbs on carbs. So you have a meat and potato pie, which is obviously potato, in a pie, pastry, more carbs, in a cob roll, so it's triple carbs. And then the other one in Hull is a.
That'd be dry though, innit? That'd be dry. You'd need like some sauce.
They put gravy on it. And saying that, there's one in Hull. It's called a pea barn wet. A pea barn wet is the cheapest thing in chip. It's a cob with a fritter in, and then they'll put, the pea juice that's in the peas. You don't get any peas, you just get the pea juice on top to make it soft.
Fuck's sake.
Pea barn wet. There's I'll link a video to that in the comments about that. It's a big Hull thing. Up
What?
north, we love bread. It's all we can afford.
Bread and gravy.
Tools.
Am
Don't get me
I dumb
started
for
on
not knowing what a cob is?
You two don't understand about getting gravy in chip shops, do you? You fucking idiots.
Gravy and
You
chip
know
Yeah,
what
but I
the
bet
fuck?
it's Bisto gravy anyway.
I
And
went to.
I want curry sauce if I go to the chip shop anyway.
Yeah, we like that as well up here. But I was in Farnborough when I was younger. I worked at Farnborough Airport as a spark, right? And I went into the chip shop in Aldershot next door. And I walked in and went, "Oh, mate, I'll have a chips, gravy, and a cob." And he looked at me like I'd got out of a spaceship. And I'm like, "What?" And he went, "You fucking what, mate?" And I was like, "First of all, you swearing at me, I'm a customer in your chip shop." Genuinely said, "You fucking what?" I says, "I'll have chips, yeah, and I'll have a cob and gravy." And he went, "What fucking chip shop sells gravy, you daft cunt?" And I was like, do you work here? And I was totally confused. I only realised after that, yeah, you don't know what any of that means. So, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know. I feel like I know what a cob is, like when you said it, but I was really confused. I was like, what is a cob?
I just don't know why you don't have gravy. I thought gravy in chip shops was international. I didn't
Yeah, but it's not
realise
going to
it
be
was-
nice gravy, is it? It's going to be Bisto.
I think that's what you get up here in it, to be honest. I think it's what you get everywhere. But yeah, it's like, he literally looked at me like I'd stepped out of a spaceship outside. I was like, I
That's
was about
hilarious.
19, 20 years old, not really worked away for, and I was like, what?
What?
So what did you have instead of gravy?
I do remember being stood there going, "Oh, what do I want now?" Because I'd really got my heart set on gravy. I think I had peas, because peas were, if you are travelling, if you're young spark and you're travelling around the UK and you want to go to a chip shop, safe bet is chips and peas, because that's internationally recognised symbol for chips and peas.
Listen, if you go down to Croydon and say Betty's chips and peas, they'll be like, "What are you talking about?" Get
I'll
out
tell
my
you another,
shop."
I'll quick tell you another chip shop story, yeah.
No.
Oh, what? Betty's.
Is that
Yes,
what you said?
No,
That's
just
tired.
chips and peas. The best one I've got on a chip shop is me and my mate moved into my flat in a place called Netherfield in Nottingham. It's a bit rough, but not too rough, yeah. And my mate went in and says, I said, "I have a chips and peas, whatever," and it was like £1.60. And my mate went, "I have a fish chips and peas special," because his chip shop called it a special. And the bloke went, "A special?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he went, "Right, okay." So he gives him this fish chips and peas in the bag. He went, £27.50, mate. And my mate's like, you fucking what? Fish chips and peas? He went, "You said you wanted the special." And he goes, "Yeah, fish chips and peas special." There was some confusion. He gave him the bag and went, £7.50. I was like, what the fuck was that all about? And a couple of days later, a lad told us that if you ask for special on the end of anything, you get an eighth of weed in your pot of peas. So if you went there and says, "I'll have a sausage special," they'd chuck an eighth of weed in the sausage and sell it to you for 20 quid plus the value of the sausage.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, clever, innit? And there's taking cards as well, which was really, this is back in the noughties. Like, that was really early on. So you could buy you weed with a card in a chip shop. Welcome to Nottingham.
Wow.
No shops around me take card anyway. I can't even do that in 2022.
They don't.
Oh,
take
you got to
cards.
spend a £3 minimum. Do you know how wound up I get by that £3 minimum?
There's a
You know,
problem.
like when you go into a shop and you're like, "Oh, just want to buy a can of Coke or something," and you're like, "Yeah, it's £3 minimum, please."
I'm sorry, is this a southern thing? I don't understand. Round here, you can buy a packet of chewing gum with a credit card, with a card.
No, you can't. Not. You
Little
can.
little shops, they usually have a minimum spend.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's £5.
Sometimes it is a £5.
There's a pub near me. I live in a little town. There's 9 pubs here, but they're all like little pubs. And one of them is cashless. I'm like, what the fuck? Where am I going to spend my ill-gotten tax-free money? Like, you don't take cash. Like, no, we don't take any cash. It's all card.
I feel like this is really not a very electrical podcast this week. I feel like we talked utter nonsense.
Do you like, the question is for the viewers, do you like these tangents or not?
Yeah, in the show notes, not show notes, in the comments, which is quite. Listen, we need to have a conversation actually about.
Yeah, with the social media master here, he'll tell us as well, won't he? He can set us straight
Right,
on all
hold
these
on.
things.
Oh, sweet. No.
So whatever you do, don't ask for a special.
Most of my comments are people calling me a cunt.
I'll tell you what. While Sam's doing what he's doing, yeah. On TikTok, do you get a lot of hate on that? Because someone came in the link says it's quite a hateful platform.
Yeah, it's much worse than Instagram. Yeah,
Just trolls, just don't know what they're doing.
yeah.
Just give me grief.
I love it though. I live for it, mate. I live for it.
Do you know, I don't get any, and I thought I'd get a lot more grief on here than I have. And I can honestly say I've not heard a bit. And I'm quite. I don't know, a bit
Instagram's
upset.
really good. It's really good for it.
Yet.
But TikTok is full of it, is it?
Yeah, there's loads of them. Everyone knows better. Everyone knows better.
Right, just quickly. Just going to put up... I'm just going to stop this for a sec. Pause. What's your screen about, Jamie?
Every week I put some on the screen for people's amusement, but Aaron's the first person to notice. So today
I did notice it earlier on. And I was like, what are you saying, bro?
I've got reverse.
I'm a little bit sensitive.
I thought he was mocking my terrible hairline.
Literally, just before we came on, I was like, I hadn't thought of anything funny to put on the screen, so I just did one for hair loss. So
it's unacceptable. Right, I don't know what else to talk about, really.
I want to talk about back to what we started on about social media and all that kind of stuff. And what?
Let's talk about this then. Let's talk about this. Is Professional Electrician magazine worth reading, or is it worth advertising in? Would you ever buy anything based on what's in there?
Now that is an interesting question.
And would you buy anything based on what you see on here?
Can I mash that into something we've been talking about behind the scenes that we are discussing behind the scenes, whether to continue on YouTube, aren't we, or whether we should go podcast and all that? And if we could have, we'd speak to a niche audience of Sparkies, which is not everyone, and then we're like, do people prefer YouTube? Do people watch it? Do people prefer a podcast and enjoy a podcast? Do you do both? And if we advertise Professional Electrician, we'll get more people on this. I suppose is an interesting concept because it is very target advertised, isn't it? Which is hard to get.
Right. So here's my thing. This is what I want to do with YouTube. I want to do the first 20 to 25 minutes of the podcast on YouTube and then release a full podcast on audio.
I am against this idea because I just feel like we'd be shitting on the regulars on YouTube.
Yeah, but YouTube's an inferior platform. You get the video on Spotify. You get everything on Spotify that you do on YouTube. It's just not designed for what it is. The YouTube algorithm does not really like long-form videos. It does work against them a little bit, from my understanding. I might be a complete dummy, but I have been down a rabbit hole. So if we put on... we get way more audio listeners than we do YouTube viewers.
Which I think is not how it used to be for you, is it? But it's a sign of the times that more people are using podcasts.
Yes.
I believe.
So
for me, I don't know why you would stop doing the YouTube. Why don't you do both?
No, we're not going to stop doing YouTube. We're going to do the first 25 minutes on YouTube. And then if you want to watch the rest, you go over to the podcast.
The problem I've got is I love interacting with people. I really enjoy people telling me what they enjoy on this and telling me what they want to do and asking what to talk about that. And the comments on YouTube, we only get about 25 a week, but it has increased.
No, we used to get more. We used to get more. There's been a big drop off. And what happened was a little while ago, YouTube changed the algorithm, and it's a big thing that has caused a significant amount of issues for people. Now, I'm over it. I am over it. And I'm sick to death of trying with YouTube. I have literally done everything with YouTube.
What I would say is, though, is I hope people enjoy listening, and we are always asking for feedback, and we want more people to come on. And as I said, I don't get any emails, so people generally are enjoying the podcast, which is great. And we only apply to a niche audience, but we don't want to upset the people on YouTube, and we enjoy the comments. And if there's anything you think we can do better or worse, you tell us. Or tell your friends, because it's a niche audience, and I'm sure Sparkies, like me, love talking to other Sparkies.
That's it. But feedback, good and bad, is always
most Sparkies.
What you aim for, isn't it? That's what you aim for.
Yeah, but like Aaron, do you listen to this podcast?
Yeah, every now and then I do. Yeah, and I'll always do it on. It'll always be YouTube.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Why on YouTube? I'm interested.
I don't know really. I don't know.
I'll tell you why I do it. I've got 3 monitors here. There's one here. There's one here. There's one here. And this one always has YouTube on. Roll in something or other. Because I find it therapeutic to have things on while I'm doing so. It's like a bit like a radio, but I do it on YouTube because I'm at a computer. But I'm keen to know what you, the customers, think, because we do it for the customers basically. Unless you're a dick, in which case, go on listen to an inferior Electricians podcast. Like, I'm not nobody knows.
James not got a bollocks. No, but It's something that I've been toying with. It's something I've been thinking about. It's been giving me the ump a little bit because the views are plummeting on YouTube, but going up on audio, and I can't work that out.
How did you get into TikTok, Aaron? Because should we have a TikTok for this medium? Did you just go on there because you want to try it out? And then
I've done it.
Got very sparky.
It just came out of nowhere, to be honest. I literally just stuck up a video of. I think I had my phone down the back of a cupboard trying to find an earth bond or something, and I stuck it on there, and obviously it's relatable because fucking every Sparks has one of those on their phone, and it just sort of blew up, and then I just sort of ran with it, just kept doing more and more. And
so you didn't set it up? Was it set up for electrical stuff, or did you just set it up for yourself?
No, it was literally I just set up an account during lockdown just to, waste some time, and then ended up posting a couple of videos, and they went a bit mental, and I just took it from there, really.
Because a lot of people take you too seriously, didn't they? Because they think,
never ever take me seriously.
Because he does a lot of things winding up people by earthing back boxes.
Mate, that earth you did, the one you did with the earthing, which I'm the shame is I'm not going to go on TikTok. I'm sorry, but I do love things on Instagram, so please do more of it. Yeah. That one where you earth the socket and earth it all, and then put the earth one in.
Yeah,
I was
hilarious.
fucking howling. I was absolutely howling. It was brilliant. And the best thing I liked about it is it's such a technical joke. It's such an in joke.
But it wasn't until you done that people thought you was being serious about earthing.
Even then, people still thought they were serious. Even the more ridiculous it got, you still get those people thinking it's serious. It's
throwing their toys fully out the pram as well.
It was brilliant. When you earthed the earth label, I was dying. I was absolutely dying. And I just do like, and I'm sure a lot of tradesmen and engineers feel like it, I do love a good in-joke.
Yeah.
About
and that's
that, but yeah,
exactly what it is. Because, even other electricians, like, some of them are not going to get it.
Yeah, because this shit.
Yeah, they're not. Exactly.
What?
Some electricians just won't get it. You got me getting me, you bastard.
Listen, here's another thing that I wanted to cover because, Aaron, I feel like you like a trainer. You're a bit of a sneaker guy.
Oh, yeah, Oh no, mate! Don't do this.
I'm going to get to it. So I usually wear Nike. What are they called? Fucking hell, I can't remember now. But then they're Nike boots. They look just like Nike Manoa boots. They're called, and they look just like the normal work boots, but they're Nike. They're basically trainers. There's no steel toe cap, and I've got away with them for years. And I'm not dropping things on my feet. I'm not dumb. But you've recently tried the Air Max ones, haven't you? With the composite toe.
Yeah.
What can you report to the electrical guys out there?
I'll get away with wearing them. They're comfortable. I've got issues with my feet anyway, so I need to wear soft-sole trainers. Really.
Same.
They do the job. They're still going. I've had them probably about a year now. They're still going. They've got the toe stuffed off now, and it's down to the composite toe, but they're still going.
See, because like you, my feet were so bad that I was like, I'm going to have to change career. Or I'm just going to have to... No, it's that bad. I remember walking along from Selfridges. I was on a job in Selfridges, walking up the high street, thinking, how the fuck am I going to get home?
This because boots are knackering your arches or your heel or...
I had collapsed arches. I had plantar fasciitis. I've got crippled toes. And I was just walking along and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Anyway, I decided to go Sports Direct that night and go and buy a pair of hiking boots that looked like trainers. And I saw the Nike Manoa in there, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm just going to go with that. And if I get caught, I'm going to lose a job. So what? I'm just going to." And ever since I've had them, I've never been caught. I probably will be now, but I've never been caught. Mate, they're trainers. They're trainers. Yeah. That's
literally.
it. Yeah,
you'll be getting a pair of Crocs next.
So
you both do.
These aren't Crocs. You'll know what these are.
There you have. Oh, they're not.
It's the Yeezys, isn't it?
Have you got German legs? Your legs take sunlasers off people. For any audio viewers listening, Sam's wearing full pull-ups white socks with white plimsolls.
They're not plimsolls, idiot.
If you'd have wore that at the school I went to, you get your fucking head kicked in.
No, not now.
What is it?
They're called Yeezy foam runners.
Oh my god!
And you're meant to wear them with socks.
Is it not just? Is this feet problem from people? Have you ever? I'm not slanging off your trust. Have you ever been wearing cheap boots or something like the boots firms try and give you that are just shite?
No, I grew up wearing.
One day my feet just went. It's literally probably about 2 years ago. It was plantar fasciitis. That's what I've got as well.
What is this? Yeah, I feel like we should do a public information and tell other people about this in case it can be avoided.
What it is, the fascia is what connects the bottom of your foot to like the muscle and all the bits and pieces going on in your feet.
This is making my feet hurt. I'm sorry, I'm wiggling
right?
right. It's making my feet
And what
hurt.
happens is, if you imagine it slips a bit and then you rip your plantar your fasciitis.
Right.
Well, your fascia, and then it has to repair, but you're walking on it, and it's like walking. You know, when you go to Pebbly Beach,
right?
It feels like that on pretty much a flat surface.
And to heal, you've got to stop walking on it, which obviously you're not going to do.
You have to get arches put in and all that sort of stuff. So I had to go and have arches put in. I had to have all kinds of stuff because I collapsed arches and plantar, and I've got 2 massive bunions. My toes are. I could show you, but they go like that.
For audio viewers, Sam's showing us his foot.
I think you've got it worse than me, mate.
Is this a tradesman thing then? Is this something tradesmen could avoid by? Is it a tradey thing or is it just something that?
It's probably just a fat person thing, to be honest.
It might be. Look at that. That is.
Is that your toe? Fuck.
That is bottom of my foot. That is my big toe. There, look.
I used to get bad heels. It was an army thing because obviously you get taught to stamp your heels, and I carried on doing it all the
This guy
time.
in this army shit.
They do
Bruv,
that.
you're a reservist.
Yeah, but you can spot anyone's been in the army mile because the fucking backs of the boots are always worn out at a funny angle.
Like you'd think he'd done tours in Afghanistan and the Falkland Islands.
I've done nothing decent, I'm afraid, but I have managed to knacker my legs like all the other people in the army.
I mock him for it all the time, but he does love it, didn't he?
Someone's got a part-time Protect the Nation for getting pissed and eating crisps like I have. Sorry.
No, but I wonder how many people do suffer from bad feet, bad knees, bad back from doing that job. I think it's a real problem. I do really think it is, especially when you get to about 40.
As I say, mate, kneeling is smoky for the knees, but I've never heard anyone till now talk about feet, which is something to consider.
I remember I was literally in tears. I went into the shop. I went into Boots. I went into Boots and bought these. Like,
I just got that. Sorry.
Yeah.
just got
and I bought these little heel insert things and all that, and I put it in. And I sort of hobbled back. I had to walk round the corner to get the bus. In the end, I just hailed a black cab and got a black cab back to the station. It was bad. I had to have like a week off.
It is alarming because obviously it could take your career off you, couldn't it? Take your work away.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I have to wear these boots. If you put me back into a pair of I've had older boots as well. I've had the Timberland ones. They don't bend. You need soft bottom bendable shoes. And when they've got that silly midsole plate in it, it's over.
Do you know what? We had some guys from a site in Europe, right? See if you can guess this. Some guys came over from a place in Europe to do some work at our place, and they wore a very specific type of footwear from that country, and it is classed as a safety boot, and it's apparently very comfortable. What is it?
Clog.
Yeah,
Clogs.
And apparently they're dead comfy, even though they're made
not.
out of wood. They reckon they are.
Well, they was walking around in clogs.
They was walking around on site doing a job in clogs, and our safety was like, "You can't do that." It's like, no, they're classed as safety boots, and they got it checked out, and they were made by a firm in, I can't remember what the country is, embarrassingly. Is it Dutch?
Holland, isn't it?
Dutch, Holland, yeah. And they're like, no, come back with all the right paperwork. These are what we wear. These are safety. And apparently they're comfy because you can tweak them to your feet. So you're supported.
Once upon a time, we was briefly sponsored by Snickers, and they've got a footwear line, and they sent us a pair of boots from them. They are 240 quid,
Jesus.
and they were quite possibly the worst boot I've ever worn.
DeWalt apprentice get raved about, and quite rightly so. The good boot.
No, they're just for me, I can't wear any of them boots, man. They just don't bend at the bottom. They got to bend at the bottom.
Yeah, and that's it.
feet
But
thing, isn't it?
that's the issue for me. I find that if I do wear soft sole shoes, it takes away a lot of the issues I have.
Yeah, all of a sudden you're fine
Wearing
again.
big boots, it's just no good for me.
I'm gonna say this now because I think I bum these people, yeah, and I probably bummed on this podcast before. I don't get paid to advertise on that. I exclusively wear Engelbert Strass, and their footwear range is incredible, absolutely incredible.
Is it?
Trainers.
I've heard of a guy I used to work with had some boots.
I do like their clothes.
They didn't last very long. They were very comfortable.
I've got a catalogue always in here, but it's not in now. I'll show you the catalogue. If you're struggling with footwear and you want to get a good set of trainers that are all safety and all that and soft as shit, the Engelbert Strass stuff is fucking absolutely out of this world. Give it a try.
But not better than Nike.
I'm not saying it's better than Nike, but what I'm saying is it is proper safety wear and it's brilliant. In
But
fact,
not
I wear
better
their
than
clothes
Nike.
all the time. This top's Engelbert Strass. I was on my lovely jeans that I can't show
Yeah,
you.
all our uniforms, Engelbert Strauss as
Well,
well.
that's the dream, mate. Can I come work for you?
Yeah.
See, I've got the trousers and that because they do. Listen, I'm a fat man. It's no secret.
No.
But they do have elasticated waists on their trousers.
They
I
do.
wear
They
I
do.
wear the bib and brace because I can't stand to have a belt on at work with tools and that, and I have a bib and brace and just the trousers.
I'd bully you so bad on site.
I couldn't give a
I
shit.
would.
You know, people come up to me and talk to me in German when I wear them. I'm like, I'm English, mate. And they're like, oh, sorry, I thought you was from Germany.
I'd bully you. I would.
Brilliant. I don't care.
I'd pick on you all day long.
You won't be the first. I just shit in your sandwich box at dinner time. But yeah, there's stuff. If you had tried it, try it out. And I'd say it's superior to
What?
any.
How would you be at work at dinner time? What are you on about?
No, go and shit his lunchbox in the morning and then just sit.
Yeah,
there
but dinner
like
time to them up top north is like 12 o'clock, isn't it? Down here, dinner time is
That's-
like
Well, no, that's lunch. That's lunch.
yeah, that's
Dinner
lunch. But to us, that's lunch, and dinner time is when we have dinner.
Yeah,
Dinner to them is lunch.
Dinner usually comes at dinner time. Yeah.
Yeah,
What,
Six,
chips
7
and
o'clock
gravy
evening.
at 12 o'clock? 12 o'clock chips and gravy, followed by pie cob at 4 o'clock.
What time do you think dinner is, Jamie?
Dinner's at, well, I suppose if I was brought up in a decent house, it'd be at, 6, 7?
Oh, okay.
I
No,
don't
see,
eat at 5 o'clock.
So you're not total lost cause then. I like it.
no, listen, I'm not eating dinner. If I come home, oh my god, I'd be so fumed if my wife served me dinner.
If it was
at
on the
7
table.
o'clock. At 7 o'clock, I'd be so fumed. I'd be like, it is too late to eat that shit.
Yeah, 7 is a bit late.
That's too late.
You're saying
Six,
that,
about 6.
6 is too late. I want to eat at 5 o'clock.
are you dinner on the table, man? Like
Yeah, I
when
don't
you're
know.
Yes.
home?
Not so much now. Not so much now. Before, when I was just the only provider in the house, she's gone back to work now, so I have to loosen up the reins a little bit. Like, before, it's like, yeah, I work, you do house shit. Now she's working, I have to do more house shit. So I can't expect stuff like that.
I'm when I lived in Ibiza, I was getting to the Spanish vibe, like this English lads are at a skinful being sick in a tree, and the Spanish are only just coming out for dinner, like about 10 o'clock. I get that vibe. That's nice. That's a good idea.
No, see, I don't like all that nocturnal shit. I'm in bed. I'm in bed sleeping at 10 o'clock. Don't be coming out for no siesta at 10 o'clock and shit. It's not happening. I don't want to eat chorizo and dip bread in oil at 10 o'clock.
Oh,
I'm a
mate,
fat
bread
man.
and oil?
That's only
Are
going to
you
sit
mad?
on me.
Bread and oil's amazing.
Yeah, bread and oil is amazing. At
10
12
o'clock.
o'clock in the afternoon, not at 10 o'clock at night, when I'm going to go and drink some more cerveza and then lay on my bed with a gut. Like, no, that is not for fat people. Dipping bread in oil at 10 o'clock at night and eating Spanish stuff and olives and stuff at 10 o'clock at night is not for fat people.
Welcome to the Continental Meals Podcast, where we discuss continental late night eating as well as wagos or whatever.
Right, let's end on this then. Wago.
Au revoir, wago.
Way go.
Thank you. Not Vargo, not
Go.
Wago. Wago.
Wanko.
Yeah, but if you listen to EFIX, they're all like, oh yes, and on this week's episode of EFIX, we've got Vargo. And you're like, listen, stop it. It's like newsreaders that go, oh, tonight we're coming from Azerbaijan. And you're like, well, all right, mate, just say Azerbaijan.
If Vago, is it Vargo they like to be called?
Vargo is the German way to pronounce it.
If they're so to be pronounced like that, then I'm going to bring out a very similar product and call it Wago, seeing as they're so insistent they don't want it called that. And then I'll
Two
milk it
G's.
in.
2 G's.
Yeah, but you know, they lost the pattern on it. Not they haven't lost it. The pattern ran out. That's why you've got loads of these alternate lever connectors now.
Because we've been living in the dark age, haven't we? This shit's been around for years, but we've only found it in the last 7 years. Is it that long?
Because what happened was
maybe 10 years.
About 3 years ago, Ideal brought out their own one, which was basically exactly the same, but just ran the other way.
Yeah.
And they brought them out, and then they got sued. And what they done is, Wago took them to court in in Germany. You don't just take them to court.
Oh, it's international.
They have all different courts all around the country, and they took them to court in every single one. And they was like, listen, don't worry about it.
My mate bought an Ideal. They get the trays with Wagos in, or nuts and bolts or ferrules. He got an Ideal one. It had a load of different size Wagos in. And in the top corner, there was some fucking wire nuts. I'm like, mate.
Yeah, that's the biggest seller.
They tried to flog it. Yeah, they're the biggest seller internationally, but they tried to flog them in this country. Everyone's like, no, mate. But apparently,
could you imagine? Could you imagine being on site and then going, "Oh, got any Wagos? No, I've got wire nuts. So, what are you doing, mate?" I
mean, they must be good. They must be good, but I've just been taught that they're crap. But they sell billions.
Could you imagine doing bringing your own in, thinking you're all pucker, you get sent some through, thinking you're all pucker, you go and do a job, and then you just wire nut it all instead of Wago in it, and your supervisor comes down and goes, "What the fuck is that?"
Can anyone actually say they trust them? Would trust one?
Apparently,
I'd be interested to give them a go. I'd never leave them in an install, but I'd be interested to.
Why wouldn't you know?
See what they're like.
Why wouldn't you?
I don't know. I feel uncomfortable.
Are they even allowed under our regs?
Yes, they're allowed. Of course, they're allowed.
I don't know. That's an interesting. That's a bit an E5 interesting topic. But you had an American guy on here once, didn't you?
Yeah.
And I said this on the podcast, I love looking at American websites because they do some mad shit. They have
mad shit.
They'll have these 3-inch pipes of cables, and they'll go to box and they'll just they'll just wire it out hundreds of cables. That's how they do it. Crazy. Mad. I'd love to get another American Spark actually and ask them about it, because it just looks like all the stuff's made in the 70s. They used screwy, wiry, nutty things, and they just have these pipes. All their conduit is huge. If you haven't seen it,
it's if you look at Klein Tools, says it all, doesn't it? Like Klein Tools, good quality shit, right? This, but it just looks so like 1970s America, doesn't it?
It is good quality. I just find it so clunky, don't you?
It's big and clunky, yeah, but it's good quality.
So chunky.
Yeah, but what's going on with this design?
They're decent, but they just look like shit, don't they?
Yeah, but who designed that? I imagine some dude from Buck Rogers designed them.
I'm Chuck, and I'm a designer for Klein, motherfucker.
Yeah, it's like when you put them up next to a Nipex tool or something, it does look like this from a different century. That's the only downside to Klein.
Honestly, if you get time, look at some American stuff, and it's all just bonkers. Or to me, it is. I mean, I'm not slagging off, I'm not saying anything wrong with it, but it just looks dated and bonkers.
When I done my 18th at the Electrical Academy in Maidstone, shout out, we're going to be doing a live from there one day. Whenever you're back down here, we're going to be doing a live in-studio podcast from the Electrical Academy. And he will teach us all about the American wiring system. And it's actually really, really good. Like, the way he explained it, I remember sitting there thinking, that's actually better than ours.
They have 9-wire motors and all sorts of mad shit.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not smart enough.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see it a bit more. It's just like, you look at some of the stuff, they don't have trunking or nothing.
No, that's it. They don't have trunking. That's it.
That's bits coming out of a board. And you just think...
They don't have big cables. They don't have big arms like we do. They have massive, huge donkey knob drain pipe pipes. And then they pull in these massive, huge cables that are then joined with wire nuts the size of your fist. It's wild. It's wild over in America.
Listen, if anyone knows if wire nuts are legal in the UK, let us know. I say legal.
I can't see why they wouldn't be. I can't see why they wouldn't be.
Proven, aren't they?
Well, they can't be more exposed than a connector block, because you look at a connector block, you're like, it's quite like you could stick your finger in there and still get a shot, can't you?
Do you not look at connector box now and think, we collectively are saying, oh, look at wire nuts, aren't they horrible things? I feel like that about connectors now. Oh, look at those. They're for commoners.
Guess what? The other day I had to use some. I had to use one because I needed a fat one to get all my earths into. Because I'm not going to stuff like 7 or 8 earths into Wagos, are you?
I want stuff 7 or 8 earth into one terminal anyway, you horrid heathen. but
What do you mean?
I pulled
It's
some
in the
out of our unit.
switch.
Oh, right, fair enough. I pulled some out of our unit. I've got like drawers in there. I pulled it. I was like, oh, connectors, get away.
Yeah, but they are like 4p for 10
It's
and not
amazing,
£27 for
I had one
25.
today on this fault find I was doing today. I took the cover off adaptable box, so I pulled all the cables out. Literally, big, massive connector block with about 8 neutrals in it. Literally pulled it. Everyone just popped out straight away.
I tell you
There's
what
your problem.
I'd like to know on that vibe of like things that cast off because they're old and dirty, like connectors now. If anyone's got any more of them, let me know, because I think they'll be really interesting. Like brown light switches, for example, toggle switches. You look at them and go, oh, that's horrible. But they're all the rage. That's all I only used 3036 fuses. Like they were fine for years, but suddenly they're a death trap now. What's changed?
Crabtree C50.
Crabtree C50. Is that the brown ones with
The
a
brown-
death bar
Yes.
underneath?
Yes.
Oh
mate.
man.
Scary.
They are horrendous. But if anyone's got any more of them, if anyone can reminisce in the comments about gear that was good that's now total shit, I would love to read that. In fact, I'll submit I'll write it all down, submit it to Professional Electrician as an article.
Oh, mate. They would listen. Now you're associated with this podcast, they will not touch you.
I couldn't give a fuck.
Same with the ECA. They don't like me.
The thing is, and I'll sell it for you, if you want to be the kind of sparker that wants to run a podcast, that wants to jump into bed with the suits at these organisations, that's fine. I ain't got a problem with you.
Oh, that's
But
fighting
I
talk.
want to be a sparky sparker. I want Sparky to come on here and talk about connector blocks. Yeah, that's what I want to do. I don't want to get in bed
Would
with...
you like to talk to the ECA one day?
No, not really.
No, I don't know what I'd ask
I'm
them.
not bothered.
I don't know. Like, yes, I would, because it's like a name to have on there.
I've got nothing against the ECA. I've got things to say that are negative about, and things to say to the ECA, NAPIT, and the NIC and all that. But I've not got loads of negatives. Don't hate them, but I don't want to be that kind of spark. This, as you know, I set out to get on this podcast, and now I'm the co-host. So fuck you, electrical industry. Who's the winner, eh? Me.
Dino, what do you reckon about like these incumbent institutes and stuff? Do you give a shit, or do you just go with the flow?
It's hard to give a shit because they're all one and the same, aren't they?
Yes.
And they don't really care. They're just doing what they do.
Exactly. They try and make it look like they care. They don't really. It's just
You know what? You bang on there. They do, don't they? Because if they could solve the industry's problems by now.
Of course, they could, and they could if they took issues seriously. Because you imagine the amount of companies that get reported to the NIC or NAPIT, and I can guarantee nothing gets done.
I meant to say this the other day, and whoever this was out there in the social media space of Thinger, you're my hero, and please contact me and tell me it was you, yeah? A guy in a comment, I don't know if it was on this video or on one of our videos or just on social media, he put, if the NIC spent as much time investigating contractors of their own that get reported to them as they do collecting their membership fees, no one would ever die. And I read it, I thought, fucking hell, you some kind of fucking poet or what? And he's right. If they spent that time they spend collecting fees, investigating the people that get reported for bad work, there'd be no one dying.
100%.
I'm not going to lie. I've had a really good conversation. I feel like this was a good trio.
It must be, because we're 5 minutes over and you never go over.
What about this then? In the show notes, if you want to hear from the Big Haldinio again, we'll get him on again. Part 2 or part 3 even. Big Haldinio. Let's get him back on. Let's talk about connector blocks and Legos.
Come back anytime.
Monday Club, we're out.